Welcome back. As we were saying, intangible ROI, the squishy, which doesn't actually necessarily have a monetary value, but it's a difficult thing to get out. As you're saying, your lawyer friend cannot help but think, this is how much my time is worth, this is how much my membership's worth when it comes to networking. And that moving away from that dollar figure can be really difficult. And I think we are so focused as business owners on the metrics. How do I prove this investment's worth it? How do I definitely know it's worth my time? And it's difficult to put a measure on something. And you know what they say? What gets measured gets done.
Yes.
And if you can't measure it, then is it really happening?
Yeah, and it's like that old adage, isn't it? They say, business is a numbers game. And I've always argued against that. I've always gone, well, yeah, but no.
Yeah, but no? Okay, well, I think we need a bit more on the yeah, but no.
Well, if business was just a numbers game, everyone in business would be successful. Because if it's just purely numbers, I just do more and I get more in return.
Well, don't they say that's what sales is all about? If I know that 10% of my sales calls convert, then I just have to, and I need 20 sales, I need to make 200 calls?
Yeah, I've got some bad news for people. If you can sell, you can sell, and if you can't, you can't. Don't waste your money training people to sell who can't sell. But
if you're talking purely a numbers game, then that's how it should work. If I make, if there's a 10% average conversion for my particular industry, and I got my script about right, then theoretically, if I make 1,000 calls, I should have 100 successfuls.
Okay, but I think the value add is in the intangibles, because if that was purely what it was, me and you would do the same amount of calls and get the same result.
Exactly.
But that's not how it works. And
it's certainly not, because I'm particularly rubbish at sales.
And people go broke in business. Why? If it's a numbers game, you shouldn't go broke. But you do. So I think it's the intangible qualities. And we talked about that with one-on-one when we set the media group up.
Absolutely.
And people were saying, well, what's the ROI? And we said, well, have you ever done any public speaking? No. How do you talk to clients? Well, I
just answer the questions they ask me, and
So there's huge, when you have to sit in front of a camera and talk about a subject, or talk in front of Albert, our little recorder that sits, our microphone called Albert that sits
He's still in his
eyes,
but yeah.
He's still in his eyes. He's got the hairdo already. We'll show him to you one day. But that deepens your personal understanding of the business you're in. And I think that reflects in a very deep subconscious level to somebody listening and makes them more, you know what, I actually trust you. I can't quite put my finger on why, but you seem to know what you're doing, you seem to have my best interests at heart, and it's just how you present it.
And I think we've talked about this a couple of times before, that one of the things that I found was, say, working again with you guys and obviously having the Breaking Business show and the things which we had going on initially. I remember the first time I came in to do my very first interview, I was scared out of my brain. Now, this is, those of you, obviously there's a whole stack of people who don't know me at all out there. There's obviously people who listen to us blurble on for quite some time, but I can talk, apparently, under wet concrete with a mouthful of marbles. So I've been accused of that on several occasions. So talking to people has never been a concern of mine. Even public speaking, it doesn't particularly worry me, which I appreciate I am unusual, but it doesn't particularly worry me to get up in front of a group of people. Many, many, many years ago, perhaps it did, but I've been doing it in training for so long, and I'm constantly in and out of people's homes and I'm constantly meeting new people as part of what I do. I think it just becomes natural. But that first interview, but the thing is, I knew it was being recorded.
Yes.
That first interview, I sat there, and if you listen to way back those episodes, I sound like a racing squirrel. It's like, oh my gosh, and every question you asked me was came out of my head like a million miles an hour.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I felt almost like I was having to justify every single thing that I did and prove that I knew what I was talking about. And I couldn't just have a conversation. I had to make sure that and it's this tension it creates in you. And when I thought about it, I realised that in some cases, that was also how I was speaking with my clients.
I thought when you were just talking about it then, I was reflecting back in the early days when clients ask you something, you feel like, and you use the word justify.
Yes.
So look, I'll tell you all this great stuff to justify why you can use me.
And you download your entire brain on the phone to someone who said to me, I think I've got some mold in my bathroom. And all of a sudden I'm giving them my entire speech about how some allergenic and some aren't and the building code, and they're just going, oh my God. And with all that information, I was literally pouring on my poor unsuspecting client.
Yeah.
Now I don't actually answer the phone in my business.
You've got somebody else doing that for you now.
I do, but it works so much better. And it sounds ridiculous, but my PA can give them what they need without having this backlog of words that they just have to get out. And she doesn't have this need to give them. She can give them the answer to the questions. She's very well informed. She's got great scripts to follow. She can put them through to me if she needs to. And the result of that, and me spending time with her, I guess there you go, that intangible ROI is actually financially so much more beneficial to our business because I don't bog my client down before they've even become my client.
And Nick, I was finding that, when you're trying to define the media group, and I'm going, well, we're an online radio and TV station. And then someone said, well, what do you do for clients? Well, we build an online TV and radio stations for our clients. And the difference is we create the content and distribute it for them as well. So we take away so it's like the glue that's missing from everyone else. Yeah. That's what we put in. Zip.
Yeah, remember those old days, the little thingy which held all the cans together, you can't get them anymore?
Yeah.
But you end up just this bull. And what I've found, the more interviews I've done, one, you don't have to wind it back to 3/4 speed to be able to publish it, which I know saves you a lot of work. But the confidence that it gives you to have those discussions, because all of a sudden you don't feel that you need to justify why you're there.
I think one of the intangibles that I got was being able to focus on what the question was. Now, I don't know about people watching, but I used to have this habit. Someone would ask me a question. What is it that you do? We produce TV shows and we produce TV stations and radio stations for our clients, and we create the content and distribute it. And then I would go off on tangents here and go off on tangents there. It's like I just took them down country lanes, and then they got this look on their face.
Someone just asked you how you were. It was all I needed to know. Fine, thanks would have been a fine answer, yeah.
So what I've found it's done, the intangible that the TV has done for me personally is gone, here is a question. Please stay on the question. Answer that particular question. And so what you tend to do is go very deep, but keep it very focused.
Yeah.
So when I talk to clients and they ask me a question, my listening skills have got up now and go, that's the question, answer that question. Until the client goes, I got it.
Right. What else? Yeah. And that's been the thing with working again with here is that ability. I mean, we were just talking about networking before, and that standing up and people say, you've got that little 30-second, and you hear the same thing over and over again. You go, yeah, guys, we've been networking together for like a year now, and I know what you do. Just tell me something different. I know there's more to you than that, and it's not a difficult thing to look around the room and realise that every single person in the room was there also a fortnight ago and was there also a fortnight before that. I mean, occasionally you get a guest, by all means, catch up with them afterwards and tell them everything you know.
Yep.
But clarifying that message has been what's been really, I guess, my biggest intangible takeaway from this particular work.
When we come back, we're going to be talking about that intangible takeaway,
Yes.
because looking at the Patreon site that's going to be opening up very shortly.
Absolutely. Yep.
And how we've actually managed to concentrate it and the skill sets we've both learnt along the journey.
Absolutely, yeah.
To concentrate so clients go, you know what, I know what I'm getting if I engage with you.
Yep. Too cool. See you soon.